When we left off from the last video, we were still in the arcade. After the stacking game shenanigans, we decided to play more ticket-oriented games. But at that point, my brother already used more than 3/4 of his points. Then we saw this piano game right next to the second game. It gave a decent amount of tickets and was really fun. Well, on that one day, we got only about 100 or maybe 200 tickets. And that was all because of that stacking game, which you wouldn't know about if you watched the last video. But moving on to the second day. When we're back down in the arcade, me and my brother just head straight back for the piano game. And we played that for a while. And let me just tell you, when you're playing with the most intense stare to the screen, it really hurts your eyes after a while. But after the piano session, my brother had the bright idea to play this stacking game again. And he still failed. Wasn't that surprising? After that game, me and my brother looked for another game. And this one was probably one of the better games. You drop a ball and it would land in one of the many holes in the circle, and all you could do is hope that it lands on something more than 100. It was worth it most of the time. Most of the time. We spent quite a while there since it was profitable. And yes, I am treating this like money because it is money, since you pay with money to get the points. We started to play some other hard games with a high jackpot. That day we played a lot of different games, and we got about 1,000 tickets, which wasn't enough for one of the better prizes. Moving on to the third day, which was our last day, we decided to go to the arcade again. I decided to take a better and more strategic route to using our points. I just said to my brother, we are only using points on games that give us tickets, which I think he ignored because after that he decided to give the stacking game another go. But I was determined to get the most amount of tickets. I looked around for some more games that you could win tickets for a cheap amount of points. Then I found another stacking game that wasn't rigged this time. This one used a controller-like pad that was wobbly and makes it hard to balance the blocks on the screen, which makes sense because they want to make your life miserable. The highest I've ever gotten that game was 30 tickets, which is the second highest you can get, and the highest is the jackpot, which is a long way from those 30 tickets. And the jackpot on that one was 1,000 tickets, and that's a lot for something that costs 4 points, but it does take a lot of skill. Then I saw this game that these two kids were playing, and it was the same concept as that game with the dropping ball into the holes, except instead of holes, there were these tubes that you would drop it into. Then you would get a 1,000 ticket jackpot if you managed to somehow get all of the 50 balls in the tubes. Despite the fact that you had a time limit of 1 minute with all that, I still tried multiple times on that game, and I didn't get the jackpot. Once I barely had any points left, we decided to look for one more game to play. And then looking around the corner, we found the Wheel of Fortune. And when we already got there, we found that there was still credits in the machine. So, we decided to play, even though we didn't have to use any of our points. And let me just tell you, we got about 400 tickets from that machine. But we would have gotten 500 more tickets if the machine didn't run out of tickets to give. But I was still happy anyways. Oh, and I also found out on the last day that all the game cards came with the room. So we technically didn't really pay for the game card. Thanks for everyone watching. This video took a while to make since I had to draw 5 different games. This week's video might take a little longer because I have class this week. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I post art on my Instagram daily, so you can quench your thirst while you're waiting for one of my videos. I hope I'll see you in the next video, and peace.